Hey everyone, if you're just tuning in, we're still getting set up here. I'm John from MLH. If you have a cool hack you've been working on, you can actually go to that URL in our stream, hackp.ac/live demo, and you'll be able to log in and share your screen with us. Hopefully, we get some cool projects today. We're working with a couple of different hackathons this weekend. Cat Hacks is one of them I'm really excited about. Their demos are going to be starting soon. So I'm excited to see what hackers log on and share their projects with us. And if you're watching on another channel, feel free to comment. I'm reading all of them while we stream here. I'll feature some of the more interesting ones, and excited to see what folks share today. So if anyone has been working on a project over the weekend that they're excited about, you could share it in comments. Happy to talk about it without you being on the stream, but we're welcoming any and all MLH hackers to come on and show us what they've been working on. All right, folks. As a reminder, obviously, we are testing this out. We've upgraded our setup a little bit from last weekend, if you watched that, but I'm really excited to see what people show off today. We're queuing up our first round of demos now, so we're still getting started, but if you keep tuned in, feel free to log on and demo, comment in chat, or just stay tuned while we queue up the first round of demos. All right. As I said, go to hackpack/live demo. Where is that here? Whoop, right there. And we can log you on to demo from your own browser. Anyone who's been working on a cool hackathon project or side project while we're all stuck at home, we're going to welcome on the demo. We'll be doing it for about an hour today, see how it goes with the new setup. And the plan is to do this every week if folks are interested. All right. Cool. How's the quality for people watching, especially if you watched last weekend? Is it better, worse, equal? We're trying to improve our setup so we get a little smoother every week. But obviously, I can't really see it myself. So if anyone has any thoughts on how the quality is, that would be super appreciated and helpful while we're queuing up our first set of demos. And again, if you have anything you want to demo, go to hackp.ac/live demo and log on. And we'll be welcoming our first batch fairly soon once Cat Hacks finishes up. All righty. Okay, I see we have one of our coaches, Peter, who just logged on. All right, folks. Sorry for the dead air here. We're still getting stuff started with Cat Hacks and a couple of the other events going on right now, but we expect to start the demos pretty soon. Again, if you have anything you want to show off, just pop into the link below or hop on a chat and let us know. How's the quality for people out there? Are we lagging at all? Everything good? Cool. So while we're waiting, one of the things we've been working on at MLH over the past few weeks is finding ways for folks to feel like they're part of the community and have connection with the outside world, even though we can't be together in person at these big events right now. So these live streams are going to be part of that. We're not just going to be doing demos, though we do want to do that once a week. We're also going to be playing around with some cool technical workshops, some live coding, and more. So if anyone has any cool ideas, feel free to share them with us in chat or at hi@mlh.io, and we will gladly consider them. Right now, we're really just playing around with the format, trying to see how things go, trying to work out all of the bumps in the road that we might encounter. If you watched last week compared to this week, hopefully this week is much better, but we're still definitely working out a lot of the kinks. Right now we are working with the folks over at Cat Hacks to get some of them to come on and demo, but still waiting for the event to finish up, so expecting to have some people soon. But if not, then this is just a fun test of our new setup. We're using a web-based streaming software. It's pretty cool. The goal is to give different people on the team access to the same broadcast tools so that we can kind of share the resources and not have to set everything up from scratch every time. But seems to be working pretty well so far. This is the first time we're actually using it live. And again, if you have anything demo, feel free to log on to that URL and you can share what you've been working on. Could be a hackathon project, could be a side project, could be your life's work at hackathons for the past year. And we're excited to see it. All right, looks like we have our first hacker logging on here to demo. Let me get them sorted and then we'll put them live. Cool. I'm very excited to see this project. We're queuing them up now, getting some info about their hack and getting their AV ready to go. Obviously, we're doing this all live, so we're gonna have a couple, hiccups, but seems to be going well so far. If anyone has something cool to demo, feel free to log on. Cool. We have another person here. All right. Looks like we have a bunch of folks here. Very excited to see what they built. Sweet. And if you are watching on the stream, feel free to hop into the comments. I'll be putting different comments up on the live stream so that people can see what you're chatting about. And hopefully it'll be a fun experience for everyone. How is the video quality for people? I heard a couple folks in comments saying that it's a little grainy. Is it still like that? It looks good on my end, but it's hard to tell what it looks like for other people. All right, folks, we're going to pause for a minute and then come back while we queue up some hackers. Okay, folks. We are going to try doing our first demo here. Hacker is having some computer issues, so I'm going to be streaming a video, but I'm going to bring them on so they can talk about it and answer questions and all of that. So let's bring her on, see how it goes. You're live. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, John?
I can hear you. I can. How's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can, yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
It's like that old
let me
Verizon
try it
commercial.
one more time on my computer.
Okay.
Oh, it means I'm not clear.
You're all good. I can hear you perfectly well.
Properly. Hold on. Okay.
No, I
are
can
you
hear
sure?
you fine.
Okay. Let me see if, because video is a lot more fast-paced, and I'm pretty sure I won't be able to talk that much fast. So I'm trying to turn it on my side, see if that works.
Okay. I'm happy to share your video on DevPost. Do you want to tell everyone who's watching like a quick one-sentence description of like where you're from and what you built?
So basically, we build an website and basically an ML-based website. I'm sorry, I'm just going to start from our inspiration so that it becomes clear that what was that inspiration and what is a platform about. So our inspiration was to build a safe platform for all students. Sometimes a student is hesitant to reach out for help in person, or they cannot due to the class of their size. With VConnect, all the students can get the help that they need. VConnect, like, it is a web-based platform. What does it do is we connect the students with their classmates, and it is a safe platform so that you can host virtual meetings and organize group studies. For example, like you have a Zoom session coming up, and sometimes the classroom is about 100 to 200 size big classroom, where you do not know that who is on the other side of the Zoom and who is talking to professor. And probably you could even have a group study session with them, but the thing is that you don't know them, and everything is online. This coronavirus, and then whereas before everything was in person, you can directly talk to someone if you need help. But now the situation is that you don't even know them. Then how will you ask them for help? And know that what are their skills, what are they good at, what are the classes that they have taken before. So I'm like a platform in which you can see that all the students in the class, which classes they're taking, what are their skills, yes, what are their skills, and if you want to contact them, what do they want you to be. Okay, let me turn my camera on if that works.
Oh, I see you.
That works,
Wow.
okay. Yes, yes.
Cool.
Okay, it works. I do not know how long will that work until.
Do you want me to play the video?
Oh yes. You know what? Can you also turn the audio on, because in the video I explain what our product is about. Because right now I'm speaking really slow pace. In the video, I wrote every single thing down, and it is really organized.
Cool. Let's play it and see how it goes.
We connect. If you are a student, you have most likely being in large lecture halls with over 25 to 200 students. You have been in a situation where reaching out to your professor isn't really helpful. You are determined, but unfortunately don't know who to reach out for help. We made it easier. We bring help to you online. Introducing WeConnect, a platform tailored to your needs. Trained on 10,000 plus datasets from colleges on classes and their learning outcomes. An interface powered by machine learning and Twilio API. An automated process maps your classes with the skills of other students, so we can utilize the student community and ensure each other's success. WeConnect students are connected with other students in their classes. It is a safe platform where they can host virtual meetings and organize group studies. First, they create a profile where they can share information on what classes they are taking, their previous classes, and also their skill sets. They also get to choose their best skills and highlight them on the top of their profile. Based on the classes that each student is taking, our machine learning model connects those classes with the skills of individual students. So in this way, they can get recommendations on who they can request for help on a virtual meeting. We have embedded Zoom and Gmeet for virtual meeting platforms. As soon as a virtual meeting is requested, the selected student receives an email informing them about this request and a link to Zoom meeting. Also, 30 minutes before the meeting, students will get another email and text reminder. This was done using Twilio API. After a meeting is scheduled, the student profile gets updated. It shows all upcoming meetings and details of each meeting on click. All meetings are sorted based on the time of hosting. Lastly, we wanted to ensure that all the students are in good mental space. We wanted to make this platform a source of revealing their stress and create a safer student community. So we also integrated an option to hold non-academic meetings where students can join for some fun. Those meetings are specially designed to address each student interest, like LGBTQ+, and happy hour where students can have lunch together. Our inspiration was to build a safe platform for all students. Sometimes a student is hesitant to reach out for help in person, or they're not able to due to the size of their class. With WeConnect, all the students can get help they need. Using Twilio API and Zoom API together, we made an easy user interface as it automatically creates a Gmeet or a Zoom link and sends it to an email. We use over 200 articles from studentsaffairs.duke.edu for match and recommendations. We have also connected MongoDB as database to save all the information and integrated Twilio, SendGrid, Azuri, Meetup, Zoom, and Kinley API.
We are really proud of this accomplishment. We work really hard on making this platform accessible for all students. Thank you for watching our demo.
That was awesome. That is so cool. I guess how did you did you work on it alone? Was this like a solo project?
No, that was not solo. I worked on it with my sister and with my cousin.
Are they in the same physical place as
Yes.
you, or were you all okay? Cool. That definitely helps.
Yeah, my sister, I live with my parents, but my cousin, we work remotely. Yes, but it was a really good communication because I already knew him, and we had a plan in our mind that what we actually wanted.
That's awesome. What was the hardest part of building it?
The hardest part was the actually backend part that my cousin worked on. So, so like getting the Meetup API, actually that whole recommendation thing. First, we tried to get the recommendation and then pull it out like using front end, and then the recommendations were just not coming out right. They were getting wrong recommendations. It's like at least get it right for one person according to their skill sets. So then we have to use like other so like only Meetup was not enough because we realized that it need more information. We have to train on model more rather than just giving the skills of the students. So then we use all the data that was on Duke website articles, in which like they actually shows that those are the skills of the person, and if those are the skills, those are the meetings that they probably might be interested in. So we use all that, and then we try to fed that into our Meetup API and see if that works. So that finally worked, but that was the hardest part. It took about 12 hours to figure that out, and we all was on it.
Yeah. That's a long time. I've definitely had that happen to me.
Can you say it one more time?
No, I was saying I've had that happen to me before too with different APIs.
Yes, and reading their documentation. Sometimes the documentation is so like it's like so huge. It's hard to even like read them within one hackathon.
Yes. So you were saying you worked on the front end part?
Yes. I worked on UI UX. I love building websites, making them look professional and making them look pretty. So that's what I work on front end part.
That's awesome. That's super cool. I love your hack too. I shared it in chat so people can look at the dev post. But great work. I really liked it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I apologize that you were our test case today, but I think it went really well. Your demo was awesome. I could hear you perfectly, and I love what you and your friends built. So happy hacking, and we're going to move on to our next demo now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see next demo. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Have a great day. All right, folks. So we got our first one in the bag there. I love that project. Check out the comments if you want to see more about it, or check out that video for yourself. Next up, we're going to be bringing on Larson to talk about Get Fresh. So Larson, you are live now with me. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Awesome. I can indeed. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing really well. Where are you calling in from?
Arkansas.
Sweet. I've never actually been, but I know there's some good hackers out there, so I'm glad to be talking to you.
Yes.
Sweet. So could you tell us what you built? What's Get Fresh?
Yes. This is mainly oriented towards the coronavirus, to help with that. Basically, since people are having to be quarantined and stuff, some cosmetic things can't happen. So mainly we focused on the barbers and people getting haircuts. We built this service where barbers can basically just communicate back and forth with their customers, and you can book an appointment on the app. And we also used machine learning to determine if you got this style of haircut, maybe we could try to change it up next time and get this other style. This would be a good way to help with the economy and everything that's going on right now, to help with the financial of it. Mainly focusing on getting, because all the barber salons and everything are closed. So this would actually allow them to come to your house and to actually cut your hair inside your house. But we also plan on in the future of expanding it to where it can do other services too. We use MongoDB. Yes. Did you say something?
No, I'm just saying that's really cool. I'm getting a little shaggy myself. So
yeah. And our main goal was to accomplish it to basically to where the barbers and other salons, if they wanted to set it up that way, they could still have money coming in the door because that could cause bankruptcy eventually.
Mhm.
And here, basically, this whole dev post just explains it. And then we used our technologies, MongoDB Atlas for storage, and then Google Cloud for the geolocation, and then Firebase for the users, and we use React Native for the app itself.
Sweet. I just started learning React recently, so I'm still kind of a noob at it, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, this is my first time using it. I prefer doing stuff like natively, like on Android, like Java and Kotlin, and then for iOS Swift. That's just how I've always been, but this was something new and it was fun to learn. Do you mind if I play this video?
Yeah, please. Do you have audio sharing on?
Oh, I should.
Okay, cool. Let's check it out.
Let me make sure. Yeah, it says it allows sound. Yeah, so it should be allowing audio. Let me try it.
I don't think it's coming through, but I can play it on mine here.
I just realized we don't even have audio in this video.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, then we won't worry about it.
Yeah. There's no audio anyway, so it's fine.
Cool. That's an impressive video.
So, potato.
Did you and your team, have you worked together before, or did you find yourselves like through Discord or something?
Yeah, it was actually through Discord. We've never met each other or anything. We just kind of I sent out my skills in the team building channel and then my GitHub and everything. And, it came, we just met each other and yep.
That's kind of awesome. How did that compare? Have you been to a lot of hackathons in person?
Yes. Actually, I've only been to 2, but yeah, I have like more lined up. Some got canceled actually because of the coronavirus, but yeah, I have about 3 or 4 more lined up.
That's cool.
Yeah, but the 2 that I've been to, the first one was just me and a group of buddies that I knew. That was really well. And the second one I went to, I met people online, so that it's an experience. So.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I know it's like a little weird now that everyone has to meet online. Like I always really liked having in-person team building,
yes.
But I'm glad you found a group of people to work with.
Right. Yes.
So what did each of you work on the team?
Yeah. I was more of the like Firebase person that configured it and everything. Did a little bit of the server stuff. I handled the domain and DNS and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Mainly, mess with the web server to get that set up. With the emails and everything, basically configuring it to like actually we are an actual business, technically making it look professional. And then Ryan, you can see his name there. He worked on the React Native stuff, like building the screens and everything for it. He's really good at that. And then same thing for Riley. He did the exact same thing pretty much, and it all connected together. And then we've actually talked about actually making this into an actual real product after this hackathon. But fixing certain things, make it more available to people.
Cool. That's awesome, man. Honestly, I would love to use that. I'm out here in New York, and we're in like full quarantine mode.
Yeah.
And so, maybe I can convince my girlfriend to cut my hair, but I might just grow it out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And the purpose of this was also just, we had the purpose behind it was just to make sure people understood, like, it's customizable to the barber themselves, and they can like reach out to people if they want to offer their services, and people can reach out to them. And so it's gonna have a built-in messenger. It's really it's like an all-in-one kind of.
Yeah, it's like a Seamless or Grubhub for barbers.
Yeah, it's like it reminded me of Uber for the location part of it, and then Grubhub or Uber Eats or whatever it's called for connecting with people. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I noticed one other thing when I was checking out your project, that you maintain Oh My ZSH, which I use like every single day. So huge fan of that. That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Have you been working on that for a while?
It's been it's kind of confusing. Back in September of last year, that's when it became like official for me going like public with it. But it's been about 2 years now at the most. But yeah.
Wow. Do you want to explain to people what it is? Because I don't know if everyone watching will have used it before, but I thought it was super impressive that you worked on that.
Yeah, can I share the GitHub link for people to see it?
Please.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me find it.
I actually have the tab up here too.
How can I post it in the public comments? Is that like a thing?
You should be able to. I know I can, but here I'll share it if you
Yeah,
can.
there's the private one. Okay. Anyways, the easiest way to explain it is super difficult without having like a visual demonstration. But anyways, we have the terminal, and then we have ZSH, which is I guess it's like a terminal itself, kind of like a framework, I guess I would say.
Yeah, it's like an alternative to using
Bash.
Bash
or anything
like
by
old
default.
school. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's actually really exciting is like the new macOS Catalina that comes with ZSH now, and that was exciting. So now basically you have to have ZSH as your default terminal, and then you can basically install any plugins that you want or anything you want to do to your terminal. Like if you don't like anything about it, you can fix it instantly. We have plugins for basically anything you can imagine, any developer tool we have, and we have it open source to where other developers, if they want to develop their own plugins or own framework pieces, they can do that. The themes is another big deal. Like people can customize virtually everything about it.
Yeah, I have a bunch of plugins. So I use it on a server where I do a lot of C development. And so I have it configured for like, compile warnings and Git integration. And I use RVM with it. So it tells me like what Ruby version and Gemset I'm using. Like it just like makes my development workflow so much easier.
Yes.
I didn't mean for this to turn into like a pitch for a product, but like it's one of my favorite open source projects. So I'm a huge fan.
Cool. And then also we just launched our Discord server not too long ago, and that's where people do a lot of there's an example of it. It works really well with Git, and that's what most people use it for. And then the Discord server, it's starting to grow a little bit. Mainly we use that for tech support most of the time. And we now have a competition going on for sharing your terminal setups. So that's a thing now. And we have a few surprises coming up, maybe the next 1 to 2 months for people. We just don't want to talk much about that yet. But that's coming though.
So what's the competition? Like where can people find out about that?
For the competition, there should be a section that says Discord server on there.
Okay, let's look.
In the README though, so it should be. Yeah, it's at the very top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see where it says chat. Scroll down. Yep, the chat right there. Oh, you passed it. It's right under the logo where see where it says chat and it says that many people online. Yeah, if you click that, it should take you to a Discord link. And you can join it. Yeah, there we go. And
I have a lot of Discord servers here. Can you see my Discord?
Let me open my Discord back. I had to close it because like people were pinging me like crazy. Hold on.
Yeah, no, I need to.
Yeah, here's my. I have it open. Incoming users. Yeah, John Mark. Yeah, I see you. I'll send you a friend request. Yeah. It's not like the project's not like official yet because we're like still getting it developed, but you'll see in the channel terminal setups. Basically, we're gonna have like a community vote of who has the best terminal setup. If you would be, that's just gonna be like for bragging rights or whatever. Probably some Twitter stuff going on too. There, we just haven't decided that yet.
That's awesome. I definitely like used a couple open source configurations, so maybe I'll get something new out of that.
Right. Yeah, and you can see mine in there like on my Mac, like how it's set up. I just have iTerm 2 running, and then a basic power line.
I don't think you're sharing your screen anymore. You might have to turn it back on.
Can you share with apps on macOS?
You can, yeah.
Oh, you can. Okay, hold on a second. Let me open it up. I'll just do it live.
It's cool. We're turning this into a live demo now, folks.
Share screen. Hold on. Application. Oh, you can. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So basically, of course, our software does not do this. This is NeoFetch. But anyways, basically, it has like the autocomplete. It's like CD. It gives like suggestions and everything. The way I have it configured, it does that. You can do virtually like it's hard to. It's like there's so much to explain that it's incredible actually. But yeah, you could do pretty much anything. you know, I have the autocomplete turned on right now. So if I have suggestions, it autofills for me. You can do.
You have like a Git repo you could show us so people can see that integration?
Yeah, I can. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, okay. So now you can see. I mean, cool. It highlights it. Okay, cool. Master. You see where it says master? Yeah. That's the master branch, obviously. So it has like anything you want to do. So I say git autofills because you can tell I was setting up some auto configurations. I know a git pull, and everything is tailored to the way I want it right now. But I just installed this Mac software like last night. So, anyways, for right now, it's good enough. And then you can also do your ZSH config. You can see here I'm running the Powerline theme. That's one of the community favorites. One of them, and I use it too. But everything here is just flexible for anybody to do what they want. Yeah, Robbie Russell, he's the guy that originally created it, and you know, he hops on every now and then and helps with it. But mainly it's me and Mark, but mainly Mark actually. But yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Does it work in like? Do you know if it works in like the Windows subsystem too, or is it Mac and Linux?
Yeah. Let me close my terminal real quick. Basically, that's a confusing question since we've been having questions coming in about, you know, WSL 1 and 2. Since technically, I think it's the Windows build 2004 is what we're anticipating. Since, you know, on Mac we use the 256, you know, colors. Well, we're having some like, I don't want to say problems, but like customization features that we want to improve on before we actually say, yeah, we officially support it.
Yeah.
However, I've been talking with some people from the Microsoft Terminal developer team or whatever, and they said that they'll, you know, help us with that a little bit too. Since technically the way they have it organized right now, it's not actually Linux. It's, you know, shelled a little bit, which is kind of like preventing some of the, we're having mainly performance issues is the way, it's mostly performance. I even have a GitHub issue. I can find that real quick. Mainly trying to figure out what the performance hiccups are. And once we figure that out, we should be fine. And then we will support it eventually. It's just going to take a little while.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, thank you for all the work you do on that. I mean, honestly, it's a like required project for me now. So yeah. I'm glad you guys work on it.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you so much for showing off your demo. We're going to move on to the next demo now, but hopefully y'all can keep working on Fresh Cut and I can get someone to come to my house and cut my hair because, you know, it's going to get bad quick.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. See you.
Awesome. Bye. Cool, folks. That was super impressive. I am a big user of ZSH. It's a really powerful shell. I use it on Mac, but folks can use it on Linux too. And we were really lucky to have Larson come on and show off the project that he and his teammates worked on at Cat Hacks. If anyone else wants to come on, you can go to the URL there, hackpack/live demo, and log on and share your screen. We have another hack queued up right now. Really excited to see it. It's going to be a fun one, I think. I'll be posting it in the comments if anyone wants to check it out live. But next up, we have one called Mission Control. So let's bring them on and see how it goes. Hey, can you hear us, Terrell?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Well,
right.
Welcome.
Sounds good. I don't know how well you guys can see this because it's streaming over. So Mission Control is a GUI tool to automatically generate Terraform configs so you can deploy backends, like for rapid prototyping.
Oh, cool.
So I guess to kind of give you an example of what we're doing here, let's see. I have a Google Cloud platform project. It's completely empty, or I emptied it. Let me see. It's not updating, is it? Yeah, the main interface doesn't really update. So like here, if I actually look at the storage, it's already empty, but I just deleted all of this so I could demo it. But I'll go through and you guys can see that it's all empty right now. So what mission control is, so you go to the kind of the website and you click the provider you want to use. I only had time to implement Google Cloud, so we'll select Google Cloud. We'll select the project ID here, paste that in. And since I'm submitting for CATHEX, we'll use US Central because that's the closest one to Kentucky.
Okay.
And since our kind of project is for Mars, let's see, we'll just make a very basic kind of hello function. But then let's say we want, add the function. Let's say we want another a database table for, let's see, like climate readings. Add that. And then let's say we want storage for, let's say we have like a bunch of soil sample images. Add that storage bucket there. I wanted to originally have kind of cloud sync between mission control and Launchpad, which actually does the deploying, but I didn't have time to implement that. So right now we'll kind of export this configuration as a JSON file. Let me see where that go. Probably went to my downloads folder. Oh yeah, I have like 3 of these, so we'll use number 3. Let's see. We'll go into our example project. We'll get rid of the old one. We'll copy over.
So
new one we just made.
What's like the main use case for this? Like, it seems like pretty powerful to configure all these cloud services. Like, what's the ideal?
So Terraform is usually used for infrastructure as code, but you kind of have to know already how to do infrastructure. I see this as kind of like, oh, I want a serverless function, I want a database table and a storage bucket, and then you don't really have to learn how to do that just yet. But then because it is generated as Terraform, you can actually and go in and edit those later on if you wish. Well, let me get to that point. Let's see. So on the desktop side, we have this desktop kind of a React Electron app that you can go and import this configuration into. And once that should load in there, you'll see the function, the database table, and the storage bucket. From there, we can generate the Terraform config. If it's, let's me click the button. So we'll save that as main.tf. They kind of just show you what's in there. This is the
your app generated this file.
Yes.
Interesting.
I can change
it.
Is
there an SDK to generate those files, or did you have to create that from?
Oh no, I'm just kind of manually generating the Terraform using just by stringing strings together, because I don't know if there is one, but that's just kind of how I was doing it. You see how I'm just kind of replacing in, and I have kind of, I guess, templates that I made, and then I stick in the project ID, the regions, and the zones, and then the names of the functions that we're using, the names of the database tables, and then just kind of stick them all together block by block. And then normally you would use the Terraform kind of tool to run this file or to apply it. But what I've done is I've done this kind of React Electron app. The only problem with React Electron is because it's kind of a web browser, you actually don't have real access to running things locally, or at least in an easy way. So I ended up having to write, I guess, a small Node.js kind of satellite deploy server that, here, I'll show you. All it does is when I start running it, it'll start listening locally. It's all just kind of, all it does is actually just run Terraform for you. When you hit say if I do /plan/apply or /destroy. So when I click these buttons, it'll talk to the localhost server. So I'll press plan to make sure. Oh, oops, that's the saving. We already did that. So it will validate the configuration. It'll run Terraform plan. It'll show me what it's planning to do. And then we can press the deploy button, which will run Terraform apply. And you can see it kind of creating all of these things for us, which takes some time to do.
Interesting.
That's it's just a really nice interface. Terraform is doing all the hard
super
work.
Cool. I've definitely looked into using some of those tools before, and the learning curve is so steep.
It's very high, yeah. Luckily, I used to be a sysadmin, so infrastructure is kind of the whole point of this was so I could learn, I guess, front end, because I've never done React before, and it was an experience to say the least. it took me forever to kind of get like things to where the boxes are the sizes that I needed them to be. All right,
Is that
so
the
then
what do they call that? That's like Google's design framework, right?
which one?
The Launchpad stuff? No.
No, this is something I made. This is another React.
Oh, really?
These are both kind of just React apps.
The style looks super similar to Google.
I use something called Grommet. Let me. It's I think Netflix's thing. Oh, Grommet. It's this thing. I guess I'll link that in the Twitch chat if I.
Yeah, that's cool.
I
I've
have
never
to
seen
do
that before, but it looks really good.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so you generate all the files. How do you like make sure that they were generated correctly? Like, do you have a linter? Do you have anything like that?
Terraform apply tells you if you did it correctly. It took me a while of like just tweaking the generation of the files so that they would come out correctly. Like there's a lot of cases that I don't handle. Like all of the database tables happen to be in one database that I just make, and behind the scenes I create one database that you stick it in. Let me see.
Yeah.
All right, it's not this. Yeah.
Did you work on this project solo?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Let's see, storage buckets. So like you can't really do much with the database tables and the storage buckets because I didn't have time to implement anything that actually sets up the schema. So the only thing that really works, I guess, is that it'll deploy the function, which I'll show here in a second. Where is that? So I have it set to output the serverless function URL. If we go to that, it'll say hello Mars. And then one of the other things I added was, because it was just kind of one command, was you can open up Launchpad and press the destroy button, which will run a Terraform destroy, which will get rid of all these things we just created.
Oh, wow.
One of the big things I wanted to do that I didn't have time for is that when you actually design the interface, let's see, you can actually take in a JSON that you've made before. The only problem is I didn't have a way to I don't have an X button to actually delete any of these. So once you add something, it's kind of permanent. Unless
you like hard refresh or something.
Yeah. So like if I had done that though, Terraform is nice and it'll actually automatically recognize that since it does all the heavy lifting for you. If I get rid of a database table or something, it'll only delete that part and it'll keep the rest without redeploying it.
Interesting.
That's kind of about it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you said you've done a lot of sysadmin work in the past. Have you ever done like React or Electron or anything like that?
No, this was all kind of just so I could learn front end. And like, I'll be honest, this is all pretty much the default kind of styling for Grommet, and that's why it looks nice. They're also doing the heavy lifting for me there. I think I probably should have gone with something more, I guess, known. Like I think Material UI is what people usually use for React. I picked Grommet because I don't know, it was like kind of the first one I found, and it was 24 hours, so I didn't have a lot of time. I probably should have thought about that a little bit more because I had trouble finding examples of how to use it. And I was just kind of bumbling my way through it.
Right. What did you get like the most hung up on? Like I know when I do a hackathon, there's usually that moment in the middle of the night where I'm like, crap, I've been working on this problem for like 3 hours and I just can't get like the CSS style right. You know, like something like really silly, but really time consuming.
Oh, that happens with like every hackathon. And then for the entire time, I thought, oh, this is going to be the one time that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But that moment happened when I couldn't figure out how to get like Satellite. I only had to make that because I can't get Launchpad to actually call Terraform directly because it's like it's JavaScript and you don't actually have direct access to Node.js to like execute commands or start new processes. So that's why, but I can make network calls. So I have that small kind of Node.js server that's waiting in the background only so that I can actually run the Terraform commands because Launchpad can't do that by itself.
Yeah.
And it took me like 3 hours of trying to like do all kinds of crazy things where create React app where like I think there's like some kind of way you can rewire stuff and all kinds of crazy nonsense that I've tried. I just gave up. I'm like, okay, maybe if I just make something like network that it can talk to, because I know that React can still make API calls. So I made that small thing like really, really quick, and I actually like finished the video for it like right as the deadline got there. So I had to talk to Steven so that he could get my video into the submission system because it came out just a minute too late,
Wow. And I saw that you've done a lot of different hackathons. You're part of like the Florida Hackers crew, right?
Yes.
So what's it like doing a totally virtual event versus the ones you've done in person?
I'll be straight with you, and I say that I still prefer kind of the in-person ones because I'm a very social person. I love meeting people and the kind of that energy that happens when you have a bunch of people just all kind of sitting in the room, all working. And then it's also a lot more, I guess, efficient. It's a lot easier to do team formation in person. When you're online, it's kind of like, oh, does this sound interesting? Where, that doesn't kind of have that kind of energy. It's like, oh, it's different when you're talking to someone that really getting onto an idea.
Yep.
Whereas that doesn't really kind of translate over in text.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But definitely, I love hackathons though, and I still keep doing them even though they're virtual. Yeah.
Is this your first virtual one?
I believe this is. It depends on how you count. I guess the first virtual one I did was Hack Against COVID, which was NYU's.
Yep.
And then the next weekend after, they had 3 on the same weekend, and I made the mistake of trying to do all of them at the same time. So because of the way the rules work for hackathons is you have to do code that was only done during the hacking start time. And because they don't overlap that cleanly, like it cut off like maybe 12, 14 hours off of each one. And then I ended up being limited to 24 hours, and the scope of the project was too big. So we just didn't end up finishing those. So definitely pick and choose which ones you want to submit to is my advice to people.
Yeah, that's definitely something we've been noticing with a lot of the online hackathons is that like it's the rules have to like adapt, right? And we're still figuring a lot of that out. But what if you do 2 simultaneous hackathons, right? Like what does that?
I think that as long as you didn't start before the start time of like one of the other hackathons, and you submit before the end time of both hackathons, and like you would get less time. But I think if you did it within that window, I'd say that you'd be fine doing that.
Yeah.
But that's just, I guess, my opinion. That's up to you guys all on the official New York office,
Well, the official New York office is many people's apartments now, but we'll figure it out. I mean, like, it's definitely a work in progress.
For sure, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I love the project.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, like I have not done a lot with Terraform or any of those tools, but maybe this will be a good start.
Definitely, yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thanks. Have a great rest of your day, and happy hacking.
Thanks, you too. I look forward to seeing who's up next.
Awesome. Me too. All right, folks. We had 3 great demos so far. Super impressed. We are getting our next demo ready right now. If you have any comments, thoughts, things you want to share, please just post in chat. I'll be reading it and queuing up anyone who has interesting comments here. I see a comment from Vincent here about the rules we were talking about. So he's saying that as long as you don't start before any of the events, you should be good. Maybe. We're discussing it a lot internally in terms of like what should people be doing if there's multiple simultaneous hackathons, because you don't have the regional like location restriction anymore. So we're going to be talking about it more and releasing some guidance pretty soon. But definitely excited to hear people's thoughts. If anyone has more in-depth thoughts about it, they should email us at hi@mlh.io so we can really consider it. Cool. So we're going to queue up our next hacker here. Everyone say hello. Hey, you're live.
Hey. Can you hear me? Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Where are you calling in from?
From home, from New Jersey.
New Jersey, not far from me. I'm in Queens.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We it's a little weird, but it's where we're making it through.
Yeah, I know. This is actually my first time doing an online hackathon, so it's a little confusing, but sinking into it.
Yeah. So what is PTware?
Oh, so PT-Ware was a project that I worked on with one of my friends at YHack. So basically, I'm sure you're familiar with the term virtual rehabilitation therapy.
Hmm.
Basically, games for therapeutic purposes for neurological conditions like cerebral palsy, strokes, and multiple sclerosis. So our goal was to target kids with CP and strokes. We wanted to make some games that, we can put them in an environment that can be like an energetic environment where they can do their therapy remotely and, like feel like exercising is fun, therapy is fun because, you want to have therapies with games so patients
Hmm.
are more motivated and don't lose their hopes.
Yep.
So this actually recently, a few months ago, NSF funded our project $2,000 through ICOR program to become a startup. So
Oh, wow.
we actually been furthering up the development more. So if you want, I can actually show you a couple of our games we have so far.
Yeah, that would be incredible. I actually have the dev post page up here too. So you started this at a hackathon and then added it. Then you submitted it for the grant.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's actually super impressive. So you did it at YHack. How many months ago is that?
This was in October last semester, actually.
Okay, so maybe what's that, like 8-9 months ago?
Something like that.
How long did it take you to get the grant?
Oh, so the grant we actually just got in February.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Did you apply to it like right after the hackathon?
Yeah, so the thing was, the professor I do research with for virtual rehabilitation therapy, we were actually requesting him for more hardware, and then he actually found about this program and recommended me and my other co-founder, Mohammed, whose name is also in the dev post, to both apply for this. So we applied, and then we heard back in February that we were selected.
That's cool. Did you know when you started working on it that you would want to continue? Because I feel like one of the things that we always hear about hackathons is that it's a lot of like throwaway projects, right?
Yes, that's common.
Pros and cons to that. Like I don't necessarily think that's the worst thing in the world, but what was your intention going into it?
So we really wanted to continue working on it because we saw potential, for especially for little kids playing like a dog petting simulator game, because what we wanted to actually capture in this, we didn't just want a VR environment where you just wear a headset. We wanted something where we can capture a full range of motion. So we
Right.
wanted to integrate robotic exoskeleton devices, wiring up an Arduino to a robotic arm, and then through IMU sensors, it can keep track of exact coordinates of where they're actually aiming their arms. And the good thing about exoskeleton is it's like a neuromuscular support for patients who have neuromuscular conditions. So the unique thing is it can capture full accurate range of motion for patients to keep track of their progress.
That's awesome. So you said you wanted to show us some of the games that you built, right?
Yes, actually I can share my screen right now. Let me know if you can see it.
Let's see here.
Still thinking at this. Can you see?
I can. Yep. Oh wow. We're in a time loop here. I can see and hear myself. You can just switch tabs. It'll be fine.
Cool. Is it a little better?
Yep. I can see the dog now.
All right. So actually, turn this off for a sec. So actually, unfortunately, I don't have a VR headset to show the game, but I do have some Arduino hardware that I can kind of give you an idea of like what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
See.
We're pushing the limits of the computer here, streaming a VR game.
So this is basically the goal, how you see the dog kind of like moving and wagging its tail. So we wanted basically accurate range of motion capture. So actually, this is actually just simple play test. So if you were actually in a VR environment and you wired up an Arduino to an actual robotic arm, it would be able to capture full range of motion. And the more progress that we see the patient's actually able to reach the dog's forehead, the dog would move more backward and back, more further and further and further, and the patient would have to try to get closer and closer for more accurate range of motion capture for rehabilitation use. So there isn't really much in this environment right now that I can actually showcase without a VR headset, but I do have another actual game that I can show without a VR headset if you want.
How did you motion capture a dog?
Oh, so we actually use one of the asset store from Unity, which kind of already had the animations, and then actual motion capture. Some of the IMUs can already capture a lot of the coordinates for us.
Nice. That's awesome. I see the fire burning in the background too. I like that.
Oh, yeah. That's actually one of the unique features that we got from the asset store.
So yeah, let's check out the other game that you made that's not VR. That might be easier to demo.
Yeah, so right now we don't have VR mode for this. We would like to eventually integrate that, but I can show that easily without exoskeleton or whatever.
Yeah, totally. So this looks like, is it like a FPS type game? Like, what is this?
Yeah, it's FPS, but like you don't have to be a gamer for this type. It's like at a simpler level. Like basically, if they have an exoskeleton and basically a VR headset, we want to integrate exoskeleton as a haptic feedback control where they can actually feel like they're actually holding this gun and like trigger it like the way I'm pressing my arm. They would be able to basically trigger the bullet. So I can show a playtest of what's happening. So like if you see some aliens there, again, this is still in startup phase. So I mean, we don't have. There are a couple demoable, playable levels. So if you see the aliens are the bad guys, you would try to shoot them with a bullet. If you see,
cool.
Yeah. So right now, I haven't actually been able to actually have the player go outside this building. This is just kind of like a simple, playable, huntable game.
Uh-huh. And so how does this like fit in with PT, right? Like how does like me playing this game help with my PT?
So I guess it helps when it comes to like, you move around and then like you're using exoskeleton to kind of like press your hand pretty hard and move like range of motion, like I said. So it's basically with exoskeleton you're able to keep like triggering the gun and like using your arms and activating pulse inputs. So it's like
you got some fans in the chat too.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's actually I got a better playable level actually. This one actually might be a little easier. So actually we're trying to actually make it a little bit more like Call of Duty. So this game actually started off like this until we actually changed it from the last scene I told you. But if you want to kind of show you something simple and playable.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah. Oh, for some reason my
I like the noises.
Yeah, well actually for some reason my timer isn't on. Sorry about that. Just gotta fix some stuff. Okay. See main score display. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. I know this is we're doing it live, so there's gonna be some hiccups.
Yeah. What's that? Main score display. Oh, here it is. Okay. It's fine. Okay. I think this should be fine now. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now it should be okay.
And what is this app that you're building it in? It says Box. Is this Unity or?
Oh no, it's Unity. Okay, so short story is Box Shooter used to be the full name of this game, but we actually changed a lot. So it's actually a lot of these changes are very recent. So that's actually. It actually used to be you can shoot boxes, but recently we fixed the colliders with aliens. So yeah, because boxes are too boring. You want to have a little engaging. Yeah, basically short story. So I've shoot one of those aliens, it would basically blow up.
Right.
That's basically what would happen. But like I said, we actually made a lot of changes ever since NSF Grand, which is why you might be seeing some unusual like glitches.
And is it just the two of you still working on it?
Yeah, it's still the two of us. So for the summer, actually, our research lab is wanting to bring interns, like research intern, whether they're high school students or undergrad students who can actually work on games and some cool emerging technology. It is paid as well. So yeah.
Where can people apply for that?
So it'd be at the biodynamics lab at NJIT. I think that our professor is still waiting to upload job postings. I don't know if he's done it yet, but I mean, whenever he does it, I can definitely let you know, and maybe you can send it out to people.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We have a lot of folks who are still looking for internships, so I love that.
Sure.
Cool. That's great. Well, thank you so much. This is a super impressive project, and congrats on getting the grant. I mean, honestly, anyone who takes their hackathon projects further and continues to work on them, like A+ in my book. So I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally. Well, have a great rest of your day. We're gonna go on to our next hack now, but I really appreciate you coming on and showing that to us. I love the concept. I love the project, and we'll recommend that people go check out the Biodynamics Lab at NJIT. Internship posting hopefully going live soon for people to work on it this summer.
Sure.
Cool. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
That was super impressive. Love that project. He started working on it back at YHack in October. That's at Yale. Sounds like they got a grant from the NSF from the recommendation of their professor and continue to work on it. So definitely a cool example of hacks continuing to help the world. Next up, we have another hacker here. Welcome to the stream. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
You want to introduce yourself real quick? Like, what's your name and where are you calling in from?
Yeah. So my name is Shivai Lamba. I'm calling in from New Delhi, India. And
cool. Well, what time is it there?
It's actually 11 o'clock in the night right now.
Okay. Well, it's 1 p.m. here. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah. So what did you build?
Okay. So, I mean, it has been quite recently that I started participating in a lot of Major League hacking hackathons.
We only launched in India back in October.
Exactly. And I was like one of the lucky people to actually win the first ever, MLH based event in the Asia Pacific region. So we came first
really?
in the hack. Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, because we also, since it was the first ever hackathon, so we had Mike Swift also, and he was the one, we were interacting with throughout the entire hackathon time. So it was great to get started with the CEO of MLH. So
yeah, he's a cool guy. That's awesome that you got to meet him.
Yeah. So this is a project that I made for this cat hacks. So basically, I'm just so how should I share my screen as well?
Here, I have it up now.
Oh, great. Yeah. So it is this demo that I have. So basically, I'll just give a brief overview before that. So basically, during this COVID time, there is a lot of people, they have to stay at home and work from home, right? So they might develop some cramps or some kind of body ailment, and it's not just limited to the COVID period, because a lot of the working people who are in IT jobs, they have to sit for long hours, and they might develop some physiotherapy issues. So they might need physiotherapy, right? But a lot of times they don't have the time to go to a physiotherapist, and they might not even have the money, or sometimes due to financial ailment, that they might not be able to afford a physiotherapist. Or for the old people who can't go outside, traveling for them is very difficult. So I wanted to make an AI based physiotherapist, which can
This is really cool, because the last guy also built something for physical therapy.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is that we wanted it to work in such a way that, if you do some kind of exercise in a wrong way, it can tell you. If you're doing it correctly, it will say to you that, yes, you're doing it correctly. And we wanted to make it as interactive as possible. So we used multiple things in this particular hack. And like one of the best things about it is that, TensorFlow JS is probably the most comprehensive dynamic machine learning library that you can actually use with, because a lot of web developers don't know how to use machine learning, but with TensorFlow JS they just need to import a model. Exactly. So we just need to load a model, or just we can train it without actually knowing how image processing works, right? So that is why I wanted to keep it very simple. So I made a pose like an ImageNet, PoseNet object detection that can detect your body. And now the catch was that, I took several images of the posture of, say, a particular posture, and I also consulted it with a physiotherapist. So yeah, so with their input, I was able to train the model to a certain degree of accuracy. I completed it for 2 particular exercises because of the time constraint. I couldn't have done it for like multiple exercises. But in the future, this will not only be useful for physiotherapy but also for gym sessions. For example, if you're doing some kind of exercise based on gym trainers, your personal gym trainers can be very expensive, right? So now I'll just show you the YouTube video if it's possible.
Yeah, let's check it out. Do you have
Sure.
the audio on, or do you need me to share it?
I do have the audio on.
Okay.
Once
Well, we'll
you see
find
the
out
video,
and see.
yeah, sure. So this is the entire video. Is the audio live?
No, here. Let me share it on mine.
Sure. I'll give you the link.
I
Or you
have
can
it.
just copy
Yeah,
it from
chat.
right.
Yep.
And there was
Okay.
like really good catch that we used. So we also tried to implement the local languages, so it's not just in English that you can interact with the platform. So you can
Okay,
give
we're live.
commands to it. Yeah, you can go.
Hello, my name is Aiden. I'll be your physio assistant.
शुरू कर.
So shuru kar is in Hindi. That means begin. So we wanted to
Starting your exercises, beginning with back bend stretch. Knees 2 bent. Hold there for 10 seconds. Finished back bend. Starting your exercises, beginning with back bend stretch. Ensure.
रुक जा. रुक जा.
Okay, so you must
Show
have heard
leaderboard.
So you must have heard 2 words, right? That is
Yeah.
shuru, hoja, and ruk ja. So these are like Hindi words. So basically, we are using real-time audio conversion from one language to another. So what we wanted to do is that we can support regional languages, and it converts the regional language into English, which can be passed, and then again it converts the English language back into the native language, which can give the output whether the person is doing it correctly or not. So as you saw that if our knees were too bent, then it will tell you that okay, your knees are really bent, and if you're doing
Right.
a correct posture, you have to do it for 10 seconds. And then so we also basically for motivation factor, we decided to have a scoreboard inside this project, that you can have your streaks. For example, on the first day you are able to do 3 successful exercises, then the next day you can do 5. So there's a motivation also. So this is like sort of a gamification feature that we wanted to create. So again,
Yeah.
the main
So
issue
what did
with-
you use to like do the image recognition? You said it was TensorFlow. Did you have a Connect or
Exactly.
something, or just like a
No.
normal
So
webcam?
it was not TensorFlow. Basically, if you know about TensorFlow JS, there's like a website that is provided by Google, where you just have to send in your images, with different. So it divides the different images into different classes. So how we have a class-based system in a machine learning algorithm, where you have, say, one class could be the knees are bent. One would be, so for example, if you're trying to make a ML model, say differentiating between cats and dogs. So some
Right.
of the images will be for cats. So that is how it works out for this. So it's a trainable machine. It's by Google. So we just have to upload our images. We have to train the model according to that. Then we can export the model directly to our web application. And that is how I was able to export the entire model and directly use it with our webcam. So with the webcam, you can see. I mean, I could have done a like live demo right now, but the issue being that I won't fit right in the.
Right.
You have to keep it quite far away, right? So it's meant to be that you keep your laptop on a table and you practice in front of it on using a mat, right? So again, it was quite simple in terms of the implementation. So you saw that figure, right, which was actually speaking. So again, that was sort of a gamification feature where we wanted to maximize the interaction possible. I mean, we didn't want to make it simply a exercise where it's just saying out the words, right? So the entire architecture was based on these. We use different APIs like the Google Cloud API, Google Speech to Text, Text to Speech APIs, the Google like the TensorFlow JS, as I have already said. So it is able to detect each and every joint in the body, and using the body movements, we created a function, mathematical function, which sees the change in the position in the x and the y direction of each and every different body part. So in this,
That's awesome.
so we specifically took the right knee, the left knee, the waist, then your head movement, because all of these are like very important when you're doing some back exercises, which are normally a part of the physiotherapy. So this was the entire idea. So I mean, this was sort of relevant even right now and even before this, and it will be relevant even after the COVID. So it's like I mean, so it's like you can use it at any time you want.
That's cool. And did you have teammates working out with you?
No, I actually worked on this alone because I actually have a lot of experience working with TensorFlow.js. So it was not a lot to do. So it was like, because actually I didn't use any actual training of machine learning natively on my computer. It was just that since I've been participating in a lot of hackathons, so I'm well versed with the cloud platforms. So like using the APIs and connecting them with the web application was quite simple. So
awesome.
I was able
That's
to
really
complete
cool.
this. Yeah, exactly.
And so Cat Hacks obviously, is typically run in the U.S., but now it's a digital event. Like, what was that experience like participating in a U.S. digital hackathon?
Oh, okay. So, the funny part is that I had to travel to the US in the month of March.
Really?
I had to travel to I was going to travel to Caltech and to LHacks. So basically, Caltech HackTech was also virtual, and I actually managed to win over there. And I also participated in Wins Hack and LA Hacks, Who Hacks, Rowdy Hacks, which took place during 28th to 30th. So by that time, it was very easy for me to actually communicate with. But I didn't find a lot of difference between virtual and in-person hackathon, because we were still interacting whether it was through Zoom, we were collaborating on GitHub. So it was not very difficult as say. So I didn't really find any difference between online and the on offsite hackathon, on-site hackathon.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm sad you couldn't come to the US for those hackathons. I'm sure next year you can make it out though.
Yeah. I guess I have the image. I'll just show the medal that I got. I'll just show you just a minute.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let me check it out.
The hack, that we
the pin,
that was actually given to me by Swift himself, like in the first ever hackathon that I won for. It was my first ever MLH based hackathon. Just a minute.
Awesome.
Just a minute. I guess it's there in the gallery. I guess I kind of lost it. Yeah, it's there. So this was
oh, cool.
I haven't really taken it out. So this was given. It was kind of a good, really special moment.
That's really amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. And honestly, that's a great story. What did you build at that hackathon?
Okay, so basically, we built a machine learning model which predicts the battery life of a smartphone. So basically, if your smartphone has been used over the past, say, 5 years, what is the expected life or how much it has been used? Because a lot of times what happens is that when you're trying to sell a phone, the insurance companies are looking to buy your phone, right? And they give you a price based on how much you have used. So basically, we had a data set where we had been given the number of charge cycles, the voltage, the current used, the power delivery, what is the model of the phone. So based on all of these parameters, we did some feature extraction and we used some machine learning to find out the what exactly is the age or how much the smartphone has been used, the battery. So that was our project.
That's super cool. I wish I could have tried that. Yeah. I feel like my phone is constantly dying.
And that actually gives us a lot of insights on how we can actually use. So yeah, I mean, it was quite good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed seeing your demo, and congrats on winning that hackathon, the first MLH hackathon there, and meeting Swift. He's a pretty cool guy. And thank you for demoing today. I'm glad you came on.
Thank you.
Awesome. So my good friend Nico here is giving us a shout out in chat. We're going to log off the stream soon. We had a bunch of amazing demos. Thank you so much to everyone who came on. We're planning on doing this once a week. So if you want to demo something next week, start thinking about it. Seems like things went much more smoothly today than they did last weekend. Hopefully they will continue to improve here. If you're looking for hackathons to participate in going forward, go to, I'm going to put a URL up on screen here, but lhd.mlh.io. That is Local Hack Day Share, which is our newly digital local hack day. You can participate anywhere in the world. It's a really great opportunity to finish up projects you've been working on throughout the year and demo them to a global hacker audience. We're going to be doing a live stream throughout the entire event with workshops and demos and chatting about cool hackathon stuff. So make sure you tune in next week. And thank you all for watching today. If you have any thoughts, feedback, comments, come on and check it out. And we had a question in chat here. Can I demo sketches for my game? Honestly, we're looking for any hackers to come on and demo things they've been working on. So if it's technical, maybe it's some design work you've been doing, maybe it's code, maybe it's a crazy robot you've built, come on and demo it. We would love to have you. We're not super, we're not going to be exclusive about it. We really want to show off as many cool technical projects as possible. So thank you all so much, and happy hacking.